Well, guys, I'm going to try something very different today. I'm going to try and do this intro very slow. Everyone always says that I do the intro to these videos really, really fast. So I'm going to try and do this like as slow as possible to see if everyone knows what I'm saying. So, hey guys, Sean C. Phillips here with my brand new DVD Blu-ray Tuesday shopping video. Today, going to go out today and see what things came out today, see what things are on sale. Some of the main things that came out today was a Space Jam Legacy. That was one of the big things that was releasing today. Now, with that one, I know there's a number of different, retail exclusive versions. I know that I believe Best Buy has an exclusive steelbook version. Well, I know they do for that one. And then I'm pretty sure Target has one that looked like it was like, had an exclusive slipcover or something to it. Or it might have had like art cards that came out. I couldn't tell exactly what it was, but it looked like something like that. I don't know for sure if Walmart has an exclusive version. I saw something like a 2-movie version, so maybe Walmart has like a double movie. I know sometimes they do that. Also, though, the other thing that was releasing today was Escape Room, a Tournament of Champions. That's the sequel to Escape Room, a film series. And the other one that comes out is The Stand, which is the new, Stand reboot. I think it was on Paramount Plus, but that's what I'm really interested in seeing as well, because Jill Kill, who's a friend of mine, was one of the writers on that one, so that's what I'm definitely looking forward to seeing. Otherwise, though, at the end of this video is going to be a whole bunch of brand new DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K reviews, so some things I received to review and talk about for you guys. So definitely stay tuned for those at the end of this video as well. And also, let me know what you guys thought of the DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks that are reviewed. If you guys have seen them, what you guys thought of them, and also if you guys plan on picking any of them up. Well, I slowed that down a little bit in the beginning, and then by the end, it sped up a little bit more. But like I said, I tried to slow it down as much as I could. You can tell it's a little longer since I slowed it down. But anyway, though, guys, let's get going and see what we can find today. Into Target we go. And I want to say a big thank you for you guys for checking out the Indiegogo campaign for the finishing funds for Scream Bloody Murder and Amityville Shark House, the 2 films that I directed. If you guys haven't had a chance to check it out, though, check out the link below and you guys can see the trailers for Amityville Shark House, Scream Bloody Murder, Night of the Zomghouls. That was one that I assistant directed on, as well as Amityville Karen. That was the most recent one that I just finished directing about a month or so back. But on there, though, you guys can find out all about the projects and, like I said, see the trailers and everything on there. But I wanted to make sure to mention, a lot of people have been asking about, getting a Blu-ray copy of Scream Bloody Murder. Now, the thing I wanted to make sure to mention is the movie is going to be a streaming exclusive in America. So for that one, it will only be able to be seen on streaming. And I'll talk more about the streaming platform and all that later. But for that one, like I said, the only way to see that one will be on streaming. And, in other countries and stuff, I'm sure there will be Blu-ray and DVD releases, but at least in America, the only way to actually get a Blu-ray release, or Blu-ray copy, will be from the Indiegogo campaign. So like I said, check out the link below, and that's, like I said, the one place you guys can get the super limited Blu-ray copy of the film. But like I said, thanks again, guys, for the support and everything. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, too, definitely check out the link below to see the trailers. But let's see, though, if they have the new stuff out in here, though. They haven't been changing this section, at least in this location, in a long time. So let's see. The other ones have changed it out a lot. Like, you see, like, the ads for the stuff like the Black Widow and some of the newer things like, Fast 9 and everything. But then they don't actually have it in here. They had, like, the one Black Widow there, but I don't think they ever put Fast 9 here. So I don't know. I always think that stuff's kind of funny when you, like, see them advertising something that they don't actually put in the actual section there. But, nothing really new here. I always check around the sides, too, just to see in case anything else has been changed out here, but nothing new here recently. But we'll head over to the actual section, though, and see. The last couple of weeks, I think the last 2 weeks, they haven't had this stuff changed out. So we'll see if they do today. Fingers crossed, though. Fingers crossed, we shall see. Well, it's a good sign. I can tell from here I'm seeing some new stuff out. I don't see any of the exclusives here. I only see the standard Space Jam right here, the standard Blu-ray for $29.99. The 4K one here is $32.99. And then the exclusive, so I guess the exclusive is not a 4K, but that's $26.99. That's weird, though. So the exclusive one, is that something else different? Because it's Blu-ray DVD, and this one says, so that's really strange. Is that like, it's cheaper to get their exclusive version? I don't know if that's right or not. That's really weird. But the other one today was, the Escape Room here, and that one's $22.99 for the Blu-ray. I'm going to be talking about this at the end of this video. I really like this one. And then the DVD is $19.99, and they have a 2-pack, a double feature version here on DVD for $24.99. And I really like the first movie as well. One of the other ones that came out today was this one called The Nevers, and that one is $22.99 for the Blu-ray of that one. Also, though, today was Night of the Living Animated Dead. That one here is $19.99 for the Blu-ray, $14.99 for the DVD. And this is another one today, 6 Minutes to Midnight. And this is one here. If you guys have seen this one that stars Eddie Izzard, it looked kind of interesting. Let me know how this one was if you guys have seen this one. Also, one of the other ones today was Little Vampire here, but other than that though, let's see a look on here on the side here if there's anything different. There's this one thing here. What is this? Scooby Doo? Is this a newer Scooby Doo one? I don't think I remember seeing this one. I guess it must be a newer one here that just came out or something. Scooby Doo Incorporated, I guess 13 New Mysteries or something. Like I said, I don't remember seeing that one, unless it's kind of an older one they just randomly put back here in the spot. But other than that though, not seeing anything else different here. As far as I can tell though, they put some of the Halloween stuff here on the side and everything. But oh yeah, this was one of the other things. I think this might have been, I think this was actually last week, this one Blythe Spirit is either last week or this week. I can't remember 100% sure. Other than that though, I don't see anything else different. I did notice though, it looks like they added a little bit more movie-wise here because, well, no, they changed it. The movies used to actually be here. I was realizing something was different. The movies used to be here, and then they kind of they didn't add. I think they actually subtracted now, and then the movies now are cut down to this smaller section right here, this little teeny bit here, and there doesn't seem to be as much of the steelbooks or anything like that, because they used to have like kind of like a wall of like steelbooks there that was more of the steelbook things, and I don't see those at all anymore. So it seems like they kind of got rid of those here, and they shrunk the section down and kind of are only keeping the newer things. So they do have some of the newer stuff like Unbreakable 4K over here, which I haven't actually seen them have. So I guess like they're like, you know, kind of making the section smaller. At the same time, they have a little bit more newer things here that I don't remember seeing the first week they came out. So that's kind of strange. Like the Misfits one I don't remember the DVD of. But I guess like they're going to just sort of shrink it down to only having more of the newer stuff and not keeping as much catalog releases of things. Into Walmart we go. And as you guys know, if you see the videos, this is the one location that has not changed anything out in like forever. I always go down here. It's almost sort of like a gag now. I just kind of come here just to sort of see if anything has ever changed. And like I know at some point in time it is going to happen and things will be changed. I just don't know, you know, when that day will come in here or not. You know, but the thing is, you never know. Today might be the day, but just from I went into a weird angle, so you can kind of see it from this view, and just going here, you can tell it's not looking good again. It's looking especially picked over. Nope. As you see, you know, a poor old Space Jam may never make it to the shelf. You know, Escape Room probably won't. Fast 9. You know, Vin's never made it to the shelf in here yet. But I don't know. I guess my video talking about it, they did decide to dust. They got dusted up a little bit. But I guess they saw the video, or somebody saw me pointing to it, and they finally decided to, you know, give it a little bit of a deuce down. But you know what I mean? But you know, as you can see though, nothing else changed out here or not. There's something like copyright playing down there, so I'm not gonna go down there right now. Let's see if there's anything else like randomly in these, you know, $5 bins. But sometimes you give these a little peek, but probably nothing. Like I said, I always just come here just to see if anything changes out, and nothing does though. Someday it will though, someday. But the copyrighted stuff is done now. But as you can see though, they have like these signs here for what, you know, the new thing when they kind of change this stuff out, like the list and everything. But no, it's all the same stuff here. It doesn't look like they changed anything. I don't see anything like randomly mixed in here or anything like that. All the stuff seems to be from the past couple weeks. Last Tuesday though, this section had gotten changed out a little bit, but now it's gotten kind of all picked over because, oh yes, so you can see some of the stuff that they were going to have today. Oh, so you see all the spots for it. So here's what the stuff was going to be: Amityville Moon, you know, the Purge 5 movie, Naked Singularity, Fried Berry. That one was amazing. I'll be talking about that at the end of this video. And then something called Death Valley, and then Night of the Animated Dead one as well. I don't know, maybe this right in front of you one was today as well. And I think Dinosaur Hotel was today as well. Yeah, all these ones were going to be today. The Stand, so you can kind of see what everything was. Little Vampire, Clint Eastwood. But we're gonna go to another location, and hopefully they have all these ones out, because I like this one. I'm interested in what this is. This Death Valley. I have no idea. So hopefully the other location will have that. And like I said, this fried berry is such a quirky, trippy thing, and so crazy that Walmart has this. I hope I can show the cover in the store, because it's like very much like the Greasy Strangler, like but in Walmart stocking that, mixed with like Under the Skin. Into the second Walmart we go. Fingers crossed, and we shall see. But up until last week, this location had been doing a really good job with having the new stuff out. They had I think the last 3 weeks in a row before last Tuesday, they were changing everything out. But then I was talking it up going, oh yeah, this one's doing great. And I knew I was gonna jinx it. And I definitely jinxed it. So this one, maybe I should try and change it back going, yeah, this location always does a terrible, terrible job putting things out. So, we'll see. Unless today's the opposite day and there's no winning in here, we shall see. Well, we're gonna head back here now, and I am seeing a couple things out here. I'm not seeing everything. I'm seeing some empty spots here. I don't see any of the Space Jams out, but I do see, what was I see? I saw Escape Room here, a Tournament of Champions here for 1996, and then the 2-pack here for $17.96 for the DVD of that one. But let's see. I feel like Space Jam was one of the ones that they would have had like a standee or something like that out for that one. But this is one of the ones that came out today, the Amityville Moon. So it looks like they have out a lot of these ones I didn't see the other one. Pretty much all of them. So let's see, Amityville Moon. And this is one, I should be getting a copy of this one to review soon. I'm definitely really looking forward to seeing this one. That one's $9.96 for that one. This one here, Naked Singularity. This one released here, and that one is a $9.96 for that. This is the one I was saying you guys have got to check out here. This one here called Fried Berry. This is amazing. This is like definitely 100% must watch. And like I said, it's very much in the style of like the Greasy Strangler, mixing that movie with, Under the Skin. And that's pretty much like the best way to describe it, is that type of a vibe to it. But here's what this one was, Death Valley. So there's like a Western film here. So this is the one, like I said, I saw the spot for in there and did not know what this was. That's $9.96 for that one. Night of the Animated Dead here is $14.96 for the DVD of that. This is one of the other ones that came out today. This one here called Dinosaur Hotel. This is one I'm definitely interested in seeing. This one, this is, Scott Jeffrey produced this one. I filmed scenes for a lot of his films in the past that he produced. Other than that, though, they have the Nevers here, and that's $24.96 for the Blu-ray. And this is one of the other ones that came out today. Called The Last Inn. And I should be getting a copy of this one to review soon as well. But this one is definitely one I'm interested in checking out. That one is $9.96. But there are, like I said, a couple things still different here, like the Farm DVD in the middle. That DVD, or turns, I think some of these ones might have been older ones here, but they don't have the stand out here. So there are a couple ones out that that are not out on the shelves, but at least for the most part, most of the things were put out today. Let's just see if there's anything else randomly in here that's different or wasn't out in the past couple weeks here. I'm not noticing anything that different here. Let's see. No, I don't see anything different here. This came out last Tuesday, the Transformers the movie, and this is one I forgot that came out, because I showed the 4K at Best Buy, but I forgot that the this edition 2 had just released then as well. Let's see, I'm just seeing if there's anything else different here. Don't see anything else in here. But like I said, you never know. This is the one of the few locations left that has this full big section. Most of them have been shrunk down way more. So at least this location has a relatively decent, pretty big selection of stuff still compared to the other ones. And at least for the most part, they've been getting the stuff out on the shelves. I know they didn't have the Space Jam one, but it's still better, a million times better than the last location though. Into Best Buy we go. Well, in here though, luckily enough, they have out all the new stuff. They even have the standee out for Space Jam, or the banner out for for Space Jam: A New Legacy. But it's $24.99 for the Blu-ray, and then $32.99 for the 4K version. What's cool is they all have different covers on them. I didn't see the DVD anywhere, and I believe the DVD had a different cover as well. And then they have the exclusive 4K one here for $34.99. And it has like a thing on here too. Like, this is actually not, it's not on the actual steelbook. This thing is like a piece of paper thing that comes off. I thought it was kind of raised out at first. I was like, oh, it was like kind of a rare steelbook to have it like raised like that on there. But that one is $34.99 for that one here. Other than that, though, let me see if there's anything else different right here. I don't see anything different here. They have a little stand here now of 4K things, and I don't remember this exact stand like this. I think they kind of added that. But over here on this side, though, there was another exclusive steelbook today that came out, and this was the American Psycho, the Best Buy exclusive 4K one here, and that one is $19.99. For that one, I'm going to have a closer look at this one at the end of this video here as well. Yeah, and in here, though, over here in the actual section over here, they have a couple other things as well. They do have Escape Room Tournament of Champions here, and it's $22.99 for the Blu-ray of that one. They don't have the stand out here, though, but it's going to be $32.99 for that one. Also, though, on 4K, the Universal Classic Monsters released today on 4K for the first time, and it's 4 different ones in here: Dracula, Frankenstein, Invisible Man, and the Wolfman here, and that one is a $64.99 for that one. And also, though, these ones actually were on the shelves last Tuesday, but these actually were technically the official release week was release day was today. Halloween 2 and 3 on 4K, but 3, 4, and 5 are also on 4K, but I don't believe they're going to carry them in stores in Best Buy. But other than that, though, that seems to be all the main new things I see here today, though. So anyway, though, guys, that was all for my DVD Blu-ray Tuesday shopping video today. Like I always say, if you guys enjoy these shopping videos, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Also, though, in the comments below, though, let me know what you guys picked up on DVD, Blu-ray, or 4K. If you guys ended up, picking up anything new today. Also, though, as well, like I said, definitely be sure to check out the link below to find out, about how you can help out Scream Bloody Murder. You can pre-order a copy of the film on Blu-ray. There's also special thanks credits on there as well for the film. And also next Tuesday, I think that's what I'm going to be announcing too, what the next movie that I'm going to be doing is, that I'll be directing. This is one I'm really excited about, and I'm going to have some special thanks and stuff like that for that one as well that you guys can get. But this is one I cannot wait to do. I cannot wait to announce it to you guys as well, and I think I'll be able to do that next Tuesday. But like I said, though, you guys can see the trailers as well for Scream Bloody Murder, Amityville Shark House, and Amityville Karen in there as well. And definitely leave me comments below under this video. Let me know what you guys thought of the trailers and everything. But anyway, though, guys, now stay tuned for the brand new DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K reviews. And the first one I got here is from Arrow Video, and this is one that I had not seen in so long. And I have to be honest too, when it comes to like my favorite type of films, I remember like when I was a kid, when I would go to Blockbuster and stuff, my favorite films ever to rent was fantasy films. I remember like I was always going to that section in Blockbuster, and that's where I remember discovering like Troll 2 in there, the original Troll, and then this is one of the other movies that I discovered in that section. And this is, like I said, one of these ones that I watched like all the time as a kid, but looking back at it now, it's like there's some really creepy images in here. But this is the movie which is, directed by Ridley Scott, which stars Tom Cruise. This is Legend, and like I said, this is from Arrow Video, and this is a brand new limited edition version of the film, and this is a hardbound case. And it has in here the theatrical version of the film, as well as the director's cut. The director's cut was like, I think it was like 20-something minutes longer, and then it had, the different music in there, because originally it had music, I think it was Jerry Goldsmith originally did the music, and then they ended up changing it to the Tangerine Dreams music, because I really love Tangerine Dreams music, and that's in the theatrical version. So that's the version of the film that I really love the best, just because I love that music. But like I said, like this is like one of those ones, like watching this just reminded me how much I used to love those fantasy films, and like those are really fun movies, and like they don't make a ton of those kind of movies like this anymore. And it's basically, though, it's Tom Cruise's character who sort of like lives out in the forest and everything like that. This is like in a land of, magic and fairies and all these type of stuff. And Tim Curry's character plays sort of like this devil kind of character who wants to destroy these 2 unicorns. He sends this one goblin to go after one of the unicorns and like remove its horn, and then to take out the other unicorn. And like it ends up like the one unicorn ends up getting the horn removed. And it happened too because like the one girl that was out there in the woods that Tom Cruise was talking to, who's like this princess, she ended up touching the one unicorn, and then the goblin ended up shooting the unicorn. So the whole thing ended up happening because of this unicorn, and it basically became them trying to figure out how to go and solve what has happened and try and fix what had happened in the the world because like there was like a big freeze that came and all this terrible stuff happened because of this unicorn, like, you know, being killed. Like the darkness sort of came from it. But it's a great movie. It's one of those movies, though, I know like not everyone absolutely loves the film, but I really love this movie so much. It has a similar vibe to the movie Willow as well. This one has on here, though, a brand new 2K restoration here of the theatrical cut of the film. It looks great here, though. The transfer on here looks great for the film. And it has on here, though, some of the features on here. A brand new commentary track on here by Paul M. Salmon, author Ridley Scott, The Making of His Movies. It has a reconstructed isolated score track by Tangerine Dream from 2002. Isolated music and effects track, Remembering a Legend, a brand new feature interviewing Grip David Codwell on this one, as well as some of the other people who worked on the project. Has a two-part retrospective focusing on the two different soundtracks of the film, the one that Jerry Goldsmith did and then the Tangerine Dreams version. And that's by the guy from the band Electric Youth, some of the people from the band Electric Youth on this one. And also, like I said, it has the director's cut on here, and that one has a commentary track by Ridley Scott on there. It also has theatrical trailers on here, TV spots, alternate footage from overseas versions of the films as well. And inside of here too, it has, I'll show you guys a look inside. And it also has like these lobby cards for the movie, like original kind of lobby cards for the film. But like I said, if you guys have never seen this movie, definitely check this out. It is a really fun movie, amazing music. And when you look at, too, what Ridley Scott did with doing this all practically, like, because now this would be all digital. But I mean, like, looking at these, like, floating specks of, like all these kind of feathers in the air and all this stuff, like, now they would be just doing it all digital. But it was just, like, amazing, all this stuff that they were doing practically. And everything with the effects and these big sets that they were building and everything. It was just a amazing kind of movie that you don't see anymore, is that especially done practically. Here's a look though inside. There's a booklet in here which has stuff about the production, film stills and stuff like that as well. And also there are these really cool like cards in here as well, which are really good, like quality, like photo paper images from the movie as well. So these things are really cool. I've never seen them include stuff like this in their releases before, but they're like the kind of like promotional stills that they would use to like promote, like they're almost like they would be on the back of like the VHS and the DVDs and stuff like that. They were those kind of stills. I think like the technical term is galleries, you know, when they were taking those kind of things. I remember one of the movies I was doing, they were like, oh yeah, we have to take the galleries, you might have to come back. And they're like, oh no, don't worry, Sean, you don't have to come back a whole other day for this. It doesn't matter. But I always remember that, like, I was real worried I was gonna have to drive all the way back up to LA and stuff like the next day just to take a picture, because they didn't want to do mine that day. Let's see though, and the next one in here though, this is from Shout Factory Scream Factory line. Now this is really cool as well. This is the collector's edition, and what I've never seen them do this before too, in the because it's a standard release edition here. It's not like a multi-movie set or anything, but it's in a hardbound case for this one. So this is really cool. And so I'm guessing too that this is probably going to be like I don't know for sure, but I'm thinking this is probably going to be like the first pressing, because if you guys know, like usually with Shout Factory's Scream Factory releases, they have slipcovers, and then like the later releases don't always have the slipcovers. So I'm guessing that it's going to be like in this hardbound case first, and then maybe later it is just going to be like this edition. Is what like I said, I'm not sure at all about this, but this was the sequel film to the Elvira film. This is a standalone one though, because it was Elvira's character back in like 1851, and she ends up in this castle and stuff like that, and the owner of the castle really starts to like her, and it basically becomes a parody of like those sort of House on Haunted Hill, Vincent Price type films, but with Elvira in that world. It's a really, really fun movie. I don't like it as much as the original, first film. I absolutely love the first one, but I do think this movie is still just as fun, just not as perfect as the original one was. But this one has on here though a brand new 4K restoration scan from the original camera negative. It has a brand new Elvira introduction on here. It's like a 5-minute introduction, and it's Cassandra Peterson in character as Elvira. So I thought that was really, really cool that they have that on here. It has a commentary track on here with Cassandra Peterson, making a featurette on here, interview with actor Richard O'Brien, outtakes, and a photo gallery on this one. The next one here is from Shout Factory as well, and this is one here, a movie which stars Dan Stevens, Leslie Mann, Isla Fisher, and Judi Dench, and it's called Blythe Spirit. And this is basically about Dan Stevens' character, who's this writer, and he's trying to adapt his his book into a screenplay, and he's having a really hard time, and these like issues and stuff like that, and he's like really trying to he feels like he's finally his ticket to Hollywood. That's where he really wants to move to and everything. And he's trying to get inspiration and having a lot of terrible luck and everything. So he ends up going to the psychic medium, and what ends up happening is they do this seance, and what happens is the ghost of Dan Stevens' character's original wife, who was Leslie Mann's character, comes back to life and kind of starts haunting them, kind of causing problems and stuff like that. So it ends up being this whole issue thing about him trying to write his, this screenplay, and then the problem with his ex-wife coming back who had died, and it becomes a whole big thing. It's a very, very fun movie here. This one has a behind-the-scenes featurette on here. Also includes interviews on here with actors Judi Dench and Dan Stevens on this one here as well. The next one here is one I want to let you guys know is available. Now this is the brand new 4K edition here, 4K Steelbook edition here, and this is the Best Buy exclusive here of American Psycho. This is a really, really cool Steelbook. This is kind of done the style that they did for 3 from Hell, where when the slipcover has a slipcover on it comes off, you see a different image underneath. So in this one you see, his character, Christian Bale's character taking off his, the face mask, and you see his regular face underneath. So it's, I don't know, I really love how they design these ones like that. Like I said, 3 from Hell had one like that as well, when it was the characters and then the skeleton versions of them. Here's a look though at the back here as well. And this is a movie, I've watched this so many times throughout the years. And here you see too, his business card inside here as well. And I'll show you guys though a look behind the discs too. Nothing image-wise behind the disc here, but I just want to make sure to show you guys here as well. But like I said, this is going to be a Best Buy exclusive Steelbook version of the film. And like I said, it's the 4K Ultra HD Steelbook. But I really love these ones that they're doing that are like this. Like I said, really, really cool. Great movie if you guys have never seen this one. The next one here, this is one I just finished watching now. And I was really looking forward to watching this one because I really loved the first film. And this one has on here the theatrical version as well as the extended cut. And I watched the extended cut of the film, so I'm not sure what's the differences between the theatrical and the extended cut on here. But the movie here is Escape Room Tournament of Champions. This is the sequel to Escape Room. I think that movie was 2018 or 19. I can't remember for sure, but like I said, I remember really liking that one. And this is basically, though, the 2 characters who survived in the first film. They kind of have made it a thing that they really want to track down the people that were behind this escape room. That they were, because basically, if you guys not seen the first one, was an escape room that people were invited to, and in there the rooms were basically death traps. So it was if they didn't solve the clues, they would die, and usually within each room somebody would die that didn't solve it or something they did wrong and things like that. So it was all these kind of booby traps, and the floors were falling out and all these type of stuff. And this is in the sequel. It's the 2 characters, like I said, who survived in the first film. They're going to try and track down and find the building where this, the people who are behind it are, and then something ends up happening, and they end up in the subway car, and then in the subway car something strange happens, and the subway car breaks off and goes in its own direction, and then it ends up being them with a group of 4 or 5 other people in there. I think it's about 4 other people in there with them. And then basically though, they end up having to try and figure out how to get out, because they find out that they end up being taken back into the escape room from the train car, and they get taken to this weird room and everything. So they have to go from room to room to room to try and figure out how they're going to get out and stuff like that. I like this one though. I thought it was a great follow-up. I thought it was just as cool, and they definitely went bigger, I thought, with the stuff they have to escape from and everything in this one. But this one has on here the extended cut, which includes over 25 minutes of all new footage, including alternate beginning and alternate ending. It also includes in here some featurettes on here as well. But like I said, definitely worth checking out. If you guys like the first movie, I would definitely recommend you guys check out the sequel. And the next one I got here, this is one I give an absolute top recommendation to. This movie was amazing. And what's so funny was the director of this movie had messaged me on Instagram a number of months ago, maybe might have even been a year ago, and he was mentioned me about this movie, and he sent me a link to watch it. And I didn't watch it then because I think it was I was planning out the stuff for Scream Bloody Murder, so I was did not have time to look at anything, and I regret not watching it then. And I'm sorry to the director, I did not watch this movie till now. But it's amazing. And this is a movie here called Fried Berry, and this is totally my kind of movie. If you guys know me too, I absolutely love the film called The Greasy Strangler, and it's a movie that's I totally obsessed with. I love that movie. I love the director's other film, Evening with Beverly Loughlin. So I really like his stuff, Tropical Cocktails, and this movie has the vibe of Greasy Strangler, and then you kind of mix it with Under the Skin. So Greasy Strangler mixed with Under the Skin is kind of what you have for this film. But this is a total high art film. It's very different for Shudder to release this movie because it's a total art film. But it is absolutely amazing and totally. It also reminded me of a movie too, called which nobody I feel like saw, called Crazy Murderer, which was a really underrated movie that kind of came out and then nobody saw it. But another one, if you guys ever see that one anywhere, that's one's worth checking out. But this one though, it's basically though about this guy who, it's one of those movies too where it's just a lot of stuff happening. Really great like synth music in this movie as well. But he ends up like this drug addict guy who has drug problems and everything. He's very mute, like he doesn't say a whole lot and everything, and he ends up like going out and getting strung out and having all these problems, and one day he gets like abducted by aliens, taken to this ship, and they probe him in a very interesting way. And then when he comes back, he's basically becomes like, you know, the alien basically takes him over. And there's this amazing scene when you see like him in the water, when you can see his body, you know, the real Barry is kind of hidden away and trapped in the water, why this, you know, like kind of drowning, why he's being taken over by this alien version. And the alien version, the way he kind of plays it too is a little bit like Edward Scissorhands, that kind of deadpan, kind of weird face. So if you guys know in Edward Scissorhands, Johnny Depp was doing that kind of face a lot, that inquisitive kind of look, and he kind of does it that kind of a look for the way he plays the role. Great movie. And they even say too the hard version of E.T. and there's definitely some E.T. type scenes in here too. But this one has on here feature wise a filmmaker commentary, making of Fried Barry behind the scenes, a short film on here, deleted and extended scenes, outtakes as well on this one. But like I said, 100%, 1000% worth watching, especially if you guys like Greasy Strangler and movies like Under the Skin. It's in that vibe. This honestly could, if it was, it might be just little too weird, could have been A24. It very much is on to 100% honesty in that kind of level. The next one here is from Universal, and this is the brand new 4K edition here of Quentin Tarantino's film Inglourious Basterds, which stars Brad Pitt here. And this one includes the 4K, the Blu-ray, as well as a digital copy of the film. You know, when it comes to Quentin Tarantino, though, I absolutely love his films. I feel like my favorite one out of every one to watch is Pulp Fiction. But then, like, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I really loved as well. But everything he does, I just like. The thing that's fun too with watching Quentin Tarantino's movies is, you know, he loves a lot of like, you know, and really has a lot of influence, inspired, you know, by a lot of like 1970s grindhouse and kind of weirder movies. And it's fun to watch his stuff too, where if you have seen some of the things that he's kind of getting inspiration from and kind of seeing, I don't know, I always like that, the way he does this. And this is basically though about these, you know, in the time of Nazis, these Americans who were going to try and take out, and, you know, this banding together and taking out the Nazis and stuff like that, and basically destroying them. It is a great movie, such a well done movie. It has on here though 2 hours of bonuses. It has extended and alternate scenes on here, New York Times talks on here, roundtable discussion with Quentin Tarantino, Brad Pitt, and Elvis Mitchell, Nation's Pride, a full feature, the making of Nation's Pride, original Inglourious Basterds, a conversation with Rod Taylor on this one here as well. The next one's here. These are from Warner Brothers, and these are ones I just want to let you guys know were available. And this is one here called The Nevers, and I believe this is an HBO series here. And this is basically though about these people who ended up, you know, something had ended up happening, this event, and it gave a number of people these abilities, these weird type of abilities, and mainly was women that have these abilities to kind of control things, and these kind of certain powers that have come from this. And basically though, as people that are kind of against this and want to kind of take out and get rid of the people that have these powers, that's essentially what it is. But this one here is The Nevers, Season 1, Part 1. Here, like I said, this has the Blu-ray as well as the digital code. And this one has on here though, go behind the scenes with over 20 bonus features, over 2 hours of content from character portraits to the craft of the Nevers and exploring the villains on here. Also has 2 exclusive featurettes, The Touch of Power, the themes of Behind the Nevers on this one here as well. The other one I want to let you guys know is available from Warner Brothers as well, and they sent our free copies as well. This is the complete 7th season here of the show, The Flash. And in this one here, it has on here, though, the journey of Carlos and Tom, DC Fandom, The Flash Watchverse on here, Never Alone Heroes and Allies featurette on here, deleted scenes. It also has a gag reel here as well. But like I said, just want to let you guys know that this one's available if you guys were a fan of the series here, The Flash. And here's a look inside here as well. And it also has like a little episode guide inside here as well, which says the features that are on here as well. Now the next one here is from Kino Lorber, and this is the show here, which is one that I had never seen this one before, but I remember hearing about this, and I think it originally was a movie. I think, or there might have been, maybe the movie came afterwards. This is is it Kokak? I don't know how you say this exactly. Kolak? The Night Stalker here, and this is the TV series that ran from 1974 to 75. It's basically about this reporter who goes, and instead of like being like reporting for like kind of normal type stuff, he's like reporting for things that are like supernatural type stuff, and it's like paranormal things like zombies, vampires, werewolves, ghosts, succubi, and even aliens. So it's kind of like ahead of its time, dealing with like going with people that have dealing with like these reporting on things like that, because there wasn't a lot of things like that at this time. So it's very different, because instead of being, like I said, just about like normal like murder cases or like missing people and things like that, it was dealing with like weird type of vampire type things that had happened, and like strange things that have happened, like people with supernatural abilities or making people like see things or kind of changing the way they look to somebody, things like that. But this one has on here though a whole bunch of different features. It has interviews on here with David Chase, the creator of The Sopranos and co-creator of the Night Stalker episodes. Interview on here with Dana Gold, the creator of Stand Against Evil. Booklet by Mark Dazek, the author of the Night Stalker Companion on here. 21 commentaries on all 21 episodes on here by Mark Dazek, author historian on here. 14 original TV spots on here that were newly remastered, and also has newly commissioned art on here as well. And here's a look to inside here at the discs for this one. There's also a booklet here as well, an episode guide booklet here for the show as well. The next one here, this is from Screen Media, and this is one here which is called, this one stars John Boyega, who was from, the newest Star Wars films, and also has Olivia Coke and Bill Skarsgård and Ed Skrein, who is, I always think of him as, he's been in tons of stuff, but I always for some reason call him the Transporter 2.0, because he was in that Transporter movie that everyone forgot about when it was like the young Transporter. And I won't lie, I secretly like that movie, because that was like when I first discovered Ed Skrein, because I always think he's kind of cool, and he's like always in cool roles and stuff like that. But this is a movie here called Naked Singularity, and this one is kind of hard to explain. It's basically though about like John Boyega's character, who's like this attorney, who's like defense attorney, where he's like trying to defend people like that don't have a lot of money and things like that, and he kind of like is always sort of trying to excel in the business at this, but has a lot of problems though with the judge there, and him and the judge don't get along, and they have all kind of different arguments and stuff like that. And then like the one person that he was representing, he kind of like sort of liked her and started talking to her and trying to help her with something, and kind of got like linked up with her boyfriend that was this bad guy, and it became this whole stuff about trying to steal this money and the stuff with drugs and all these type of stuff. It was one of those kind of things where it's like everything sort of spirals out of control by meeting one person. It's one of these things where it's like an ensemble piece movie. It kind of had the vibe to the movie Spun, and this one has on there feature-wise from story to screen on here, featurette, as well as the making of Naked Singularity on here as well. The next one here is from Epic Pictures, and this is from their Dread Presents line. This is one I was really interested in seeing. This is an anthology horror film. This one has Zach Galligan from Gremlins in the film. It also has Corey Taylor from the band Slipknot is in here, and it's basically, this is an anthology horror film here called Bad Candy, and I love the artwork here on this one. And it's basically though, done in this style of these two guys who are doing like a radio show, and they're kind of talking about like scary stories. So it kind of cuts from them telling these stories, and but it kind of has the vibe a little bit to Trick or Treat a little bit too, like the way the stories kind of have that vibe too to Trick or Treat. But it's basically an anthology stories telling all these different type of things, like paranormal type things. Like one was like a guy putting razor blades in candy. So it was all these different types of horror stories and everything like that. But there was actually some really, really cool ones in here, because when it comes to anthology ones, it's like sometimes some of the stories are better than others. I thought for this one, for the most part, I thought all the stories for the most part were all pretty cool. On here though, this has commentary track on here, director's commentary, behind the scenes videos, a filmmaker interview on here, a music video on here, as well as a storyboard scene here as well. The next one here, this is from IFC Films, and this is one I was really looking forward to seeing because a really good friend of mine, Lauren Francesca, is in the film, and she was in my film, Scream Bloody Murder, and in Amityville Karen, which I directed, and she has a role in here as well. In one of the scenes at the bar, you can see her in this movie. And this is a movie which stars Jeremy Piven, Taryn Manning, and it also has Jamie Kennedy and Bruce Dern. It's a movie here called Last Call, and this is basically though about it's one of those kind of movies that almost has like the vibe of like Cheers as a movie, because it's like one of those places where it's like a bar where everyone's always hanging out there and kind of stuff that's going on at the bar and everything. And it's basically like Jeremy Piven's character comes back into town because, like, was it his mother died? I can't remember. It was like one of no, yeah, his mother had died and he came back to the bar, and the father had owned this bar. When he gets back, though, he comes to find out though that the bar isn't doing very well. They're having some money problems and everything like that. And it's basically, though, he has to try and figure out what he's going to do if he's going to go back. Because he kind of has money and everything, and he has to figure out if he wants to go back and try and, like, go back to his regular life, or have to try and help this bar and kind of stay there for a little while and help his father and everything. And it's kind of like it's kind of him reconnecting with his friends, having, like, a lot of other kind of problems going on in his life, and all these type of things. I thought it was actually a pretty good movie here. Like I said, this one here is called The Last Call. The next one here is one I wanted to let you guys know is available. This is from, sorry, dropping everything. This is available from MVD, and this is from the MVD Rewind collection. I love how these Rewind collections ones are designed, because the first pressings too always have these, or for the most part have these slipcover versions, and they're like done to look like old school videotapes. So it has on here for the movie called The Dark, and it has like sci-fi right here that says please rewind me, like the old rewind me sticker there. It has staff pick right here, and then on the side here this is number 31 in this series. And here's a look though at the back here as well. But this one has on here though, feature-wise, has a commentary track on here with the producer on here, isolated score, audio track, interview on here with the composer, interview on here, a theatrical trailer on here as well. It also has a mini poster here as well for the film here as well. So that's one thing that's really cool as well. They include mini posters. Also, it has reversible artwork. Well, I don't know if it's actually reversible artwork, but it has like this kind of cool artwork that's like the lobby card image inside for this one. But I said I love the way they design these Rewind releases, some really cool ones. And I saw too that they're going to be releasing from the Rewind collection, they're re-releasing Jack Frost on Blu-ray, but then they're also going to be re-releasing for the first time putting Jack Frost 2 on Blu-ray. Now the next ones here are from moviezing.com. I have a link below where you guys can order these ones for the best price. Now these first two are like two absolute childhood favorites of mine. Like when I saw these were coming to Blu-ray, and also too I want to mention too, Sony. These are both from Sony. Sony also announced that they're going to be putting out Christmas with the Cranks on Blu-ray, which is one I'm so excited about. Like when it comes to like favorite Christmas movies, that's like one of my top favorite ones. So like I'm so glad that's finally coming to Blu-ray. But this is a movie which the first one that I watched so many times as a kid, and I watched this again, and I had not probably watched this movie in 20 years, and it was great to watch this again because I love this movie, and it's like a movie here called Bingo, and this is from 1991 was when this was originally from, and it had these like ridiculous music in here that was like ooh, ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah. It's like this like sort of like whistling kind of like it's kind of like in a sort of bad in a way, but I kind of like it. And it's like, and this is like one of the most ridiculous dog movies ever, but at the same time too, it's very scary. And like as a kid, I remember the one scene with Glenn Shaddix in this movie I would always leave because they were like, because it's like I did not like what was going on with the dogs in it. But this is basically though about this dog that was in the circus, and he kind of was a problem in the circus and didn't do very well. Like he was afraid of fire, so didn't go through the hoop. So then the owners were going to shoot the dog, and the dog runs away, and then meets this other kid. And the one kid likes the dog, and he's trying to hide the dog from the parents. And then like the parents find out about the dog, and then they're moving away. And then the dog is trying to find the kid. So the kid is like peeing on like trees and stuff like that, and like fire hydrants and all stuff like along the way, so the dog can try and follow him. It's like a ridiculous concept, but it's one of these movies where it's like a road movie. So it's basically almost like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, but the dog goes on these adventures trying to find this kid, and it comes across all these weird different people along the way. It's a great movie. Like, and it also, I feel like it might have inspired Beethoven in some ways too. I really do. But this one has on here the theatrical trailer, but great movie. And the other one here, which is one that's very sad to me, and I remember I used to always cry to this movie, but I love this one. I did not like the first one for some reason. This was the one I watched. I don't know what it was with the first one. I never would watch that one. As a little kid, I was like totally, fully against watching that one, and I don't know why, but I would always watch this one. And this was Care Bears 2: A New Generation. I don't know if any of you guys were like that as well, but for some reason, this is the one I would watch. if anyone tried to make me watch the first one, I would take it out immediately. I think as a kid too, I didn't even own the first one. I was so against it. Like I said, I have no idea why. I cannot remember. But this was a great, the Care Bears film. Like I said, I'm just glad this is available now. The other one here is from Paramount as well, and this is also from Movie Zing. And this is one of those movies that I love, where it's like a movie where it's like everyone connecting, and it's like all takes place in one night and follows around a whole ton of different characters and everything. And it has an amazing cast. It has like Ben Affleck, Casey Affleck, Dave Chappelle, Gamero Diaz on here, Janine Garofalo, Kate Hudson, Courtney Love, Jay Moore on here, Christina Ricci, Martha Plimpton, Paul Rudd, and it's a movie here called 200 Cigarettes. This was originally from 1999, but it's one of those movies where it was like all takes place in this night, and it's like on New Year's Eve, and it's all these people getting together and kind of like what they're going on, and like I said, it's one of those all interconnecting kind of movies, but a great movie. The other one here is from Paramount as well. This is one here called The Misfits, and this one stars Pierce Brosnan in here, also has Tim Roth and Nick Cannon. And this is a movie though about like it says like a modern day Robin Hood. It's basically about a group of these people head up by Pierce Brosnan's character, who are all kind of together, and they're all kind of people that kind of have their own set of problems, and like kind of like they've all come together because they've kind of been sort of like almost like the outcasts. They all come together though, and they're planning on doing this robbery. So it's basically about them trying to do the robbery, but the robbery for the money they're trying to steal is like under this prison, this real secure prison. So it's basically them trying to figure out how they're going to infiltrate to get into the prison to do this robbery and everything for this one. But like I said, I want to let you guys know that this one was available as well. The other one from Paramount, and I'm hoping at some point they release the original series on DVD as well. And this is the series that came back like 2 years back, and this is Wife Swap Season 1 here. The original series though on Wife Swap, it was kind of like the families would be like further away, and they would be like in different states and everything. Now this show, they don't really talk about it anymore, but I think because of budget and everything, they're shooting, or at least this whole season, we're shooting it all in Atlanta. So no one was really traveling a big distance. Because in this show, it's basically like two different families, like the wife switch families. So it's like, and they switch them with like real polar opposite families on purpose to try and get like a reaction and try and get like, one that they don't get along because of their different beliefs or views on things and stuff like that. The thing about these shows is, and I've always kind of known this and stuff, they're very, very fake. Do you know what I mean? Like, and this season particularly it seemed the most fabricated than the other ones. And I think it was just because they were shooting this one so a little different, because you could tell it was kind of like they were trying to fit more, trying to make it work by not really having to go too many places too. They weren't going to as many locations like they did in the original series. It was more like in the house and kind of small things that they were doing. So it was kind of like they were trying to stretch it a little bit. It was a little different. Like I said, I still like the series. It was still fun to see the show return again, and I'm glad that there's a physical copy of it, because stuff like this, kind of get lost in the circuits of time with not really having physical copies of stuff like this. So definitely is cool to have one, but I do hope at some point the original series of this happens, comes out at some point on DVD. And the next ones I got here are from moviezing.com as well, and the next two are also from Universal. This one here is the Woody Woodpecker collection here. This is the Woody Woodpecker Screwball collection here on Blu-ray. So this is for the very first time, the original classics of some of the classic Woody Woodpecker shorts are available here on Blu-ray. And I always loved the Woody Woodpecker character. That was like one of those characters another one as a kid. I used to always love that character because it was like just so ridiculous and over the top. I always like over-the-top kind of weird characters and stuff like that. So that's why I always like this character. But it has on here the bonus features on here. Walter Woody and the World of Animation here. The original Woody Woodpecker, creating the stories, animating Woody, development of Woody, creating Woody Woodpecker, production animation cells, the inking department, the painting department, sound effects and cartoons. It is kind of funny because you're saying, creating Woody. And the next one here is from, American Pie, from Universal as well. This is American Pie Presents Girls Rule. This one originally only came out on DVD when this one first released. So now this is available on Blu-ray. So I'm glad this is available on Blu-ray. I like this one. I've liked all the American Pie direct-to-video sequels. And this is basically, though, instead of following around a group of guys that were trying to, like, get together and, like, lose their virginity and all that kind of stuff, these ones are trying to go and, going and trying to, like, you know, they're kind of taking the reign and doing it. So it's kind of like changing it around a group of girls and stuff like that, and they kind of have their plans and everything, and like they zeroing in on the people that they like and everything. And it's a fun movie. I really like this one. I think that out of all of the direct-to-video sequels in a while, I think like at least the last few, I think this is probably one of the better ones, I would say, out of all of them. I thought it was the most fun. It kind of reminded me, though, of like the movie Blockers. I almost said the other name to it, but the movie Blockers. It was kind of like that one a little bit. The next one here is from moviezing.com as well. And this is, I think this is also from New Video. And this is one here. This was a Lifetime original series here. And I remember when this one came on. It was in 2011, because Roseanne has like a farm of these nuts. These are macadamia nuts in Hawaii. And this is basically, though, about her, like a reality show about following her around. It's called Roseanne's Nuts. And it's basically about following her on, you know, the nut farm and everything, like what she's doing there and all that kind of stuff. It was a fun, very short-lived reality series here, you know, and now it's available on DVD for the first time. The other one here is finally getting released, is the... This is from moviezing.com as well, and this is also from A&E. And this is Billy the Exterminator Season 5 here. And this is a fun series. It's like, it's one of those things that kind of is a little, like, fabricated, but still is, like, fun. It's ridiculous, though, too. Like, Billy's, the character of Billy, is, like, is a real guy. He's, like, this exterminator from, I think it's VexCon. Or he used to be at VexCon. I don't know if he's still at it in this one or not. I can't remember. But it's basically, though, he goes and, you know, does exterminations and stuff. And it's him going to different places. And it could be infestations of, like, you know, all these type of animals. Or, like, an alligator's out of control. Or there's, like, weird type of, like, creatures in the house. And all these type of stuff. And he has to go in there and kind of, like, slightly bumble around and try and, like, you know, get the things out. But it's a fun show. I remember back in the day when this, like, originally started, I watched this one like crazy. And especially loved the character, his brother Ricky. I always say character because he just seems so not real a little bit. The next one here is from moviezing.com as well. And this is one here, this is also from Vision Films. This is one here called Lethal Virus. And this is a post-apocalyptic film. And it's basically, though, you know, when it's kind of like everything has gone terrible, and it's basically, though, you know, people who are trying to solve this, and there's this one scientist that they need to try and, you know, get to safety because they believe that he would be the key for finding the, you know, the cure and everything. So it's one of those kind of things where they have to try and go and get to this cure, but they're going through these zombie-like characters that are out there trying to go through it. There was another movie that was kind of like this as well. I can't remember, where they were having to try and go through like the infected zone to get somebody and to get somebody out or something like that. But like I said, this one here is called Lethal Virus. The next ones here, these are all films from Chris Seaver. And it's 3 different films here that are available, and these are all from Tempe Digital. And this one here is the Filthy McNasty quadrilogy here. Now, this is the Filthy McNasty series that has all the Filthy McNasty films. Filthy McNasty, Filthy McNastier, Filthy McNastiest, and Filthy McNasty 4. Now, this one here, the 4th one is the one that I'm in. And if you guys remember the series that I used to do, Don and Murph, I actually pretty much play the Don character in here. I'm called Seymour, but I'm doing the Don voice and everything. And this one, this has on here, though, you know, available for the first time, the film's on Blu-ray. And they're all newly remastered as well on here. And they have all these different kinds of features on here as well, like commentary tracks on here, 2014 commentary tracks, vintage trailers on here, making of on here. The other ones here is one here called the Weirdzees here, and this was kind of like his take on Stand By Me in a sense. It's kind of, but it goes in this kind of crazy directions. And on here, this one has on here, though, some interviews on here, brand new interviews on here, brand new interview on here with cinematographer on here, interview on here with Chris Seaver, 2020 making of on here. And the other one here is one of the really early Chris Seaver movies called Mova. And this one stars Debbie Rochon here. This one is available here as well. And this one has on here a retrospective on here, a Zoom reunion with Debbie Rochon on here feature-wise on this one here. But they all look great here. And like I said, really glad to have these ones on Blu-ray. And there's also a special limited edition version that you can get as well, which has a couple more of his films as well, like films. I think the one that was in the movie theaters was the one I always really liked. I forgot what the name of it was called. And the next one I got here is from Acorn Media International. It's a movie here called Sun. This is one I really like. This movie. This is a crazy film. This is basically about this woman who, the one night, this weird person comes in the house and something weird happens to her son, and she sees like this cult in there, and they're like standing all over this kid. There's like these hooded people and everything. Something really weird is going on. And right after this happens, though, the son is like messed up. Like there's something really strange about him. The doctors cannot figure it out. He's sick. He's like having all this stuff is happening to his skin. All these type of problems are going on, and he's like going and like getting really sick, and then like all of a sudden he's okay again. But then like, you know, there's whatever's going on, weird sort of things start to happen to him, and you're seeing weird people around, and it's kind of trying to figure out exactly what is going on in this movie. But it is a really, really crazy film. It goes in these crazy directions, but this one was really, really well done. If you guys have not seen this one though, this is one I highly, highly recommend you guys check out. But this one has on here feature-wise interviews with cast and crew, as well as a deleted scene on this one. The next one here is from Acorn Media International as well, and both of these ones are also Shudder, you know, releases here. This one was a Shudder exclusive, and this one was a Shudder original. This is one here called Monstrum. I think that's how you say it, Monsterum. And this is basically though about this monster, you know, rage going through this town, you know, during that time of like the Middle, like I don't know what kind of the era you would say, the time of like the knights and all that kind of stuff that's going on. And it's basically though they're all trying to figure out how to stop this monster and stuff that is taking over and causing all these type of problems and everything here as well. But like I said, want to let you guys know that this one was available as well. Now, the other ones here, these are all from Bayview Entertainment, and the first one here is one where you guys can hear my voice in here at one point. And it's a movie here called The Poltergeist Diaries, and this one stars Eric Roberts. And this is basically though about this guy who had vanished without a trace, and they basically, everyone is trying to figure out exactly what had happened to him. So they're going, and he had like filmed these vlogs and filmed these videos and stuff. So they're basically going and looking back on his film, his clips and everything, to try and figure out exactly what had happened to him, where he is, and that kind of stuff, and kind of put together the pieces of, you know, unraveling the mystery of where he had gone. The other one here is one called Eerie Fairy Tales, and this is an anthology film. This is an anthology of bizarre and fantastic, uncanny tales of past and future on here as well. And it's, you know, so basically, if you guys like, you know, anything like, you know, fantasy and horror kind of anthologies and stuff like that. Like I said, one leg, you guys know that this one was available here as well. The other one here, this is a pretty cool movie here, and this one was also, I believe, originally as a horror pack exclusive. I think the other one too was the Poltergeist Diaries was as well. But this is basically though about people who are going for a high school reunion. It's called Asper and Waters. They're for a high school reunion. They're going out to this camping trip. It's one of those kind of things though. When they get out there, it's like you know, they're going to this area though where bad things had happened in the past. The Aspen Waters area, and essentially though they're out there, and then weird sort of things start to happen to them, and they find themselves trapped out there. And it's one of those things too, you know, bad things that happen there, but the people still go out there anyway, and it becomes a bad situation of them trying to survive and what they're going to do and everything here. The other one here, and this is one, I think I remember this one from years back. It was originally from, I can't remember, 2005, and it's a movie here called Stinger. But I feel like I remember this one when this originally came out back then. And it's basically about this like military ship that has cargo on it that's being guarded. And then like the stuff in the cargo gets loose. They made a lot of different kind of movies like that. But it's like this, basically, you know, you have to guess what the thing is. And they're basically having to survive on the ship and trying to stop the thing. And it kind of has vibes of stuff like, one of those things like kind of like Deep Rising. Or is it, yeah, I think it was Deep Impact maybe, or Deep Rising. The one that was on the ship and stuff like that. It kind of has vibes of stuff like that here. And the last one here is one here from Bayview Entertainment as well, and this is called Perfect Horror, and this is basically though a found footage film about a group of people who are going to an abandoned factory, and they're going in there to try and investigate and figure out, like, 'cause, you know, they had said, you know, things that happened in there is known to be like this really haunted location, and they're basically going there to make this horror film and everything. So they want to kind of go there and look at the location, and of course, so they get there, and it's not a good thing, and bad things start to happen to them and everything. And this is one a film that's in Mandarin with English subtitles. But anyway, though, guys, that was all for the review portion of this video. Like I always say, if you guys enjoy these shopping videos, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Thanks again for watching, subscribing, and I'll see you guys.